Dear students, welcome to lesson number 1, meaning, definition, nature, scope and functions of public relations. The objectives of this lesson are: number 1, know the meaning and definition of public relations. Number 2, describe the nature and scope of public relations. Number 3, understand public relations as a management function. 4, differentiate public relations from other disciplines of communication. And number 5, explain the functions of public relations. Meaning, definitions, nature, scope and functions of public relations given in this lesson are the important things to understand the subject public relations as a management function. It is to maintain cordial relations between the organization and the concerned publics. In other words, specified audience or targeted public. It means organizations, companies and individuals communicate with the targeted public as well as media. Such communication is for achieving the goals and also to pursue the vision and mission set before the organization. Public relations supports all management functions such as HR, marketing, finance, etc. It is distinct from publicity, advertising, lobbying and propaganda. It discharges various functions like media relations, customer relations, employee relations, government relations, financial relations and the like. It is the work of presenting a good image of an organization to the public by providing information. This is according to Oxford Advanced Learners Dictionary. It is the business of inducing the public to have understanding for and goodwill towards a person, firm or institution. Also, the degree of understanding and goodwill achieved. This is according to Webster's Collegiate Dictionary. It is the practice of promoting goodwill among the public for a company, government body, individual or the like, the practice of working to present a favorable image. The Macquarie Dictionary. The aim of PR is to promote positive and favorable images of the people or firms in public life without actually appearing to do so. Most companies have PR departments dedicated to creating and sustaining a good image with the general public. Dictionary of Communication and Media Studies. The dictionary meanings will make us understand that public relations is an organizational activity of dealing with people seeking their favorable public opinion and goodwill, thereby achieving the organizational goals. Public relations is the management function that evaluates public attitudes, defines the policies, procedures and interests of an organization with the public interest and executes a program of action to earn understanding and acceptance, said Denny Griswold. Public relations are the attempt by information, persuasion and adjustment to engineer public support for an activity, cause, movement or institution, said Edward L. Bernays. Public relations is the management function which gives the same organized and careful attention to the asset of goodwill as is given to any other major asset of the business, said John W. Hill. Public relations is a combination of philosophy, sociology, economics, language, psychology, journalism, communication and other knowledges into a system of human understanding. This is according to Herbert M. Boss. PR is everything involved in achieving a favorable public opinion, said George F. Meredith. Public relations is an umbrella term which covers a wide range of areas including corporate communications, issues management, product publicity, investor relations, financial communications, lobbying, public affairs, media relations, community affairs, crisis management, events management, sponsorship, and a range of services which feed into all these, said John White and Laura Mazzu in their book Strategic Communication Management, Making Public Relations Work. Public relations is a method of creating a climate of good opinion in which business can be done. It uses many means to smooth the lines of communication, enabling the person concerned to improve his image by putting his best face forward. This is according to the Reginald Peplow, the Good Publicity Guide. Public relations is the management function that identifies, establishes, and maintains mutually beneficial relationships between the organization and the various publics on whom its success or failure depends, according to Scott M. Cutlip. Public relations is finding out what people like about you and doing more of it. Finding out what they don't like about you and doing less of it. John E. Marston, Modern Public Relations. Public relations is concerned with maintaining harmonious and understanding relationships between the various parts of an organization and all the groups which have a relationship with it. This could mean management, workers, shareholders, trade unions, suppliers, customers, and government, as well as the public. This is according to Paul Winner. Public relations consists of all forms of planned communication, outwards and inwards, between an organization and its publics for the purpose of achieving specific objectives concerning mutual understanding, defines Frank Jeffkins. Public relations is communicating your organization's messages at the right time and in the right place to the right audience. With the proliferation of tools and technologies, we can measure the value of those efforts and how they align with a business overall mission. This is according to Marla Aron. Those functions and policies designed to bring about the communication and interpretation of ideas and information to all various publics of an enterprise and the communication and interpretation of information and ideas from these publics to the enterprise in an effort to bring the two into harmonious and fruitful adjustment. Schoenfield. Professional public relations is described as the art of convincing people that they should adopt a certain attitude or pursue a certain course of action usually associated with management. Howard Stephenson in his Handbook of Public Relations. Public relations is a planned effort to influence public opinion through acceptable performance and two-way communication. Cutlip and Center. PR is a part of the efforts aimed at keeping publics informed, keeping informed about public attitudes and reacting to those attitudes. This is from Reynolds. Public relations practice is the discipline which looks after reputation and the aim of earning the understanding and support influencing the opinion and behaviors. This is according to Roger Silver. Public relations strives by long-range effort to build favorable public attitudes. Douglas L. Gilbert. Public relations practice is the art of social science of analyzing trends, predicting their consequences, counseling organization, leaders, and implementing planned programs of action which will serve both the organization and the public interest. The Mexican statement made at an international conference of public relations institutions held in Mexico City in 1978. Public relations is a mode of behavior and a manner of conveying information with the object of establishing and maintaining mutual confidence based on mutual knowledge and understanding between an organization, a corporate body carrying out various functions of activities and the different sections of the people, internal and external, that are affected by some or all these functions or activities. Claude Chapeau. Public relations practice is the deliberate, planned and sustained effort to establish and maintain mutual understanding between an organization and its publics. Chartered Institute of Public Relations CIPR in 1982. Public relations helps an organization and its publics adopt mutually to each other by National Assembly of Public Relations Society of India in 1982. Practical public relations is the professional attempt to achieve good public relations in order to promote the success or welfare of the company, organization or individual on whose behalf the public relations effort is made. Sam Black, Practical Public Relations book. Public relations practice is the management of communications between an organization and its publics. James Grunig and Todd Hunt. All the other extremes are those who hold that public relations professional must rise above the level of mere communicators, mere technicians. Public relations professionals must be social scientists, public policy experts, and managers of issues. Some add that they can always hire writers. This is according to Joseph F. Award in his book, The Power of Public Relations. Public relations means different things to different people, but professionally it means creating understanding and better still mutual understanding. Very simple really, except that understanding is probably the most difficult thing in the world to achieve. It is a process of effecting change. Frank Jeffkins in his book Public Relations for Your Business. Public relations is an effort to identify and interpret policies and programs of an organization with the objective to establish a bridge of understanding and goodwill between the organization and its publics. Dr. G.C. Bannock, A Guide to Public Relations and Journalism. Public relations involves many other disciplines and it can have an impact on every aspect of an organization. It is about projecting the right message, and as such it can involve press relations, advertising, marketing, sponsorships, exhibitions, local community events, the environment and public affairs. Claire Austin in Successful PR. Public relations means what it says. Relations with the public. It is practically a self-defending term. It aims to create and maintain confidence. It is a system of communications to create goodwill. It produces that intangible quality or asset that is goodwill and earns credit for achievements. This is according to Frank Jeffkins in his book Public Relations. Strategic public relations is the process of establishing the public relations function in its rightful place as a management discipline to be found at the highest and in all types of organizations. This is according to Mike Beard, the president of CIPR London. Stripped to its fundamental, public relations means communication with others. This is according to Timson and Sherman in their book PR Manual. Public relations is a strategic communication process that builds mutually beneficial relationships between organizations and their bodies. It is crowdsourced definition of Public Relations Society of America evolved in 2011. Public relations is the management of a two-way communication process between an organization and its publics to promote the corporate mission, vision, goals, services, products, reputation, and to earn public understanding. Dr. C.V. Narasimha Reddy in his book Effective Public Relations and Media Strategy. All these definitions, coined by various authors and authorities over a period of time, clearly state that public relations is a strategic communication process and a specialized management function for the mutual benefit of organization and its concerned publics. Public relations is both an art and a science. It is an art as you need to use your creative skills to persuade the public as well as the management to move towards your way of thinking. At the same time, it is also a science as a strategic and planned activity to conduct any event makes it a science. So, we can say that like any other branch of communication, public relations too is a combination of both arts and science. It is also a business as it requires planning, budgeting, execution and evaluation. Public relations as a process serves a number of functions. While the definitions may vary, the nature of public relations indicates that it is essentially a task promoting rapport and goodwill between a person, firm or institution and the community at large through dissemination of information. It seeks to earn support, mobilize or solicit favor for an idea, a cause, a problem for an institution or an individual. It uses a two-way communication in dealing with public opinion. First, it assesses the attitudes of the public towards the organization. Next, it executes communication programs to gain public understanding and acceptance of the management's point of view. Public relations thus aims to bring about harmonious and mutually advantageous adjustment between an organization and the community through dissemination of ideas and also by providing feedback from the public to the management. It also evaluates public attitudes, identifies the policies that interest the public and executes the program of communication. Good public relations implies a sound moral basis, that is, communication must be sincere and based on facts. Harmless conduct is not enough. Action is required to gain favorable recognition. Every organization, whether public or private or a combination of both, has a responsibility towards the society. As a two-way communication process, PR has a greater role to play in a democratic and developing country like India so as to make the people partners in progress. James Madison, the fourth president of United States, said, "A popular government without popular information or means of obtaining it is but a prologue to a farce or tragedy or both." Popular does mean pertaining to the populace. This statement focuses on the need for free flow of public information between a democratic government and the public. If India is a socialist, secular, democratic republic, to secure to all its citizens social, economic and political justice, its success depends much on the involvement of the people in the democratic and development process of the country. Public relations as an instrument of dissemination of information from the government and the governed and the feedback plays an important role in a democratic setup. Public relations as a two-way communication process to promote better relationship between the government and the people. It has a vital role to play in keeping the public informed what the government is doing for them. Such an effort by the public relations discipline will not only create a well-informed society, but also enable the people to be active partners in the success of democracy. Public relations is none other than maintaining cordial, meaningful and purposeful relations with the public. Public relations has a major role to play in a developing and democratic country like India. The massive population base needs to be told about the schemes of the government and what they can expect from it. The mass communication media such as radio, television, film, the press and the print publications, advertising and traditional models of communication play an important role in helping people to access free flow of information. In India, the mass communication media emphasizes on facilitating information and entertainment needs of various age groups and focus attention of people on issues of national integrity, environmental protection, health care, family welfare, eradication of illiteracy, etc. This offers in-depth of various mediums of mass communication such as broadcasting, film and print media in information, education, people for participating in the democratic practices. Similarly, government organizations, public sector undertakings or private organizations, industrial establishments, business houses, corporates, companies, NGOs, need to maintain relations with the concerned public. A general way of defining the public is in a larger context, like the large mass of people or groups who belong to a nation or a society or a community with different identities like religion, race, color, creed and geographical boundaries. However, in public relations, public is used in a narrower way which indicates the public of one particular group belonging to one organization or a community. Publics of an organization are segregated into two categories for disseminating information. They are those who are part of the organization called the internal public, while those who are outside the organization are called external publics. Internal publics are those that deal with the organization and are part of the organization. For example, the shareholders of a company who invest in the company, employees of the company and the stockholders of the company form the internal publics of the organization. External publics, on the other hand, are those who are outside the organization but have some relationship with the organization. For example, customers of the organization who buy and use the product or service. Government departments which deal with the organization, suppliers of various raw materials to the organization, business, contacts, media and finally general public or the citizens of the country. If you take the example of a college, we know that a college has to deal with the teachers, students, administration and government officials and the general public as well as parent community. You also have the general suppliers of books, papers, stationery, computers, furniture, etc. for the classrooms. In addition, the college also has to keep in touch with the media to publish notifications and results, etc. We should understand that today, although we distinguish between the internal and external publics, more often than not, they are either extensions of each other or interconnected to each other. For instance, many IT organizations are offering shares to their own employees who on paper become shareholders of the company. They are also the customers of that company as they buy the products of that company. They form both internal and external publics of that organization. Similarly, the general public or a citizen has every right to ask for the details of any government organization through Right to Information Act and so forms a public for that organization. So, for a public relations practitioner in the modern world, it is important to expand the scope of public relations in a global society. PR is often confused with other activities like publicity, advertising, lobbying, propaganda, etc. While some of these are tools, they are not public relations as such. Look at the difference. Publicity. It means to publicize something. Cutlip and Center defined publicity as the dissemination of information, making matters public from the point of view of one who wishes to inform others. It is also called a systematic distribution of public information about an institution, individual, a product, an idea or a service. Publicity is the technique of securing public attention. It is used to place information in the news medium. Print and electronic media consume that information and it is called media coverage. Now, advertising. Advert is to draw attention of somebody. According to Subrata Banerjee, advertising is the paid dissemination of information for the purpose of selling or helping to sell commodities and services or of gaining acceptance of ideas that may cause people to think or act in a desired manner. Advertising is a paid form of non-personal communication through various media by an identified individual or organization. Advertisers control content, placement and time by paying for media advertising time and space. Lobby is nothing but a waiting hall. According to James Watson and Annie Hill, lobbying is the process in which individuals or groups seek to influence those in power. It is an attempt to influence voting of legislators and regulatory decisions. It basically builds and maintains relations with government primarily for the purpose of influencing legislation and regulation. Lobbying is not a legal profession in India. However, industry associations and professional organizations act as pressure groups to influence lawmakers and the government. Now, propaganda. It means propagating. It is the communication, verbal or non-verbal, that attempts to influence the motives, beliefs, attitudes or actions of one or more persons. Generally, propaganda is associated with politics, religion and war, where there is less scope for truth. The word propaganda became well known with Nazi Germany, Soviet Union and Republic of China that adopted propaganda techniques during wars. Joseph Goebbels was the propaganda minister for Hitler of Germany during the Second World War. His propaganda technique was, if you tell a lie big enough and keep repeating it, people will eventually come to believe it. So Goebbels' propaganda has thus become a synonym for the false information or disinformation. Media relations is for forging a strong relationship with public media organizations. A media relations team often works directly with external media by directly delivering them, providing validated content sources, and being accessible for public comment on other news stories. Production relations. It is to guide the operations of a company. This department supports broad marketing plans and is often related to specific one-time endeavors such as the launch of a new product, a special campaign, or management of a major product change. Investor relations. It is to maintain the relationship between the company and the investors. This aspect of public relations handles investor relations, oversees the communication of the release of financial reports and handles the complaints of investors. Internal relations is between a company and its employees. Internal relations pertain to counseling the employees, ensuring all workers are satisfied with their working conditions, and mediating issues internally to avoid public disclosure of dissatisfaction. Government relations is another function of public relations. It is to ensure connection between a company and related government bodies. Some public relations departments want to forge a strong relationship to provide feedback to politicians, sway decision makers to act in specific ways, and ensure fair treatment of the company's claims. Community relations. It is focused on brand and reputation within a specific community. The community could be a specific city or the dog owner community, etc. This branch of public relations keys in on the social niche of the community to align itself with its members. Customer relations. It is the bridge that connects the company and its customers. Public relations often involve handling key relationships, conducting marketing research, understanding the priorities of its customers, and addressing major concerns. Public relations can be defined in several ways, but basically it is a branch of management which helps to gain attention, communicate or even propagate certain ideas of the organization to influence its own publics. It is seen as both the art and the science of communication. It forms an important link in the communication process between the organization and its publics. Employees of the organization, shareholders, and those who are directly connected with the organization form the internal publics, while the customers, government officials, suppliers and others indirectly associated with the organization but are outside the organization form the external publics. The functions of public relations include being the link between the public and the organization. It gives facts and figures and does not manipulate information given to the public. It includes planning, organizing and monitoring on a continuous basis the events and activities planned in order to ensure the smooth working of the communication cycle. In this way, public relations plays a crucial role in dissemination of information to the public and vice versa. Thank you.